It might just be in our headphones anyway.
It's just in our head. You're right.
It's all in your head, man.
Yeah. Dude.
It's all in your head. Welcome to the edge of nowhere. Games at the edges of what we know. Monster Lore Tour Podcast. All right, hello everybody, and welcome to Side Trail 87 of the Monster Lore Tour Paranormal Deep Dives from the Edge of Nowhere podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Carr, here with my co-host and the guy who hugs trees, Mr. Matt Ozero, a.k.a. The Moz, and Junebug, who's getting a little whiny in the background here.
I hear that. Hey, since we just ended the other episode, I just thought of what we could call our Wolfman Puck dish.
What's that?
It could be, it's gone now.
It's gone now because it's so good.
It's so good.
It's gone now.
It's so good.
Pumpkin mutton.
Silence.
Mutkin.
Silence of the lamb tree curry.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
See, it came back.
Lamb tree curry.
Came back. Yeah. For those who are just joining us, it's going to make no sense to you, but that's our Wolfman Puck we just did, and that's what we could have called it. But hey, you had some old business because we were going to look up about walking trees.
I do have a little thing. So yeah, I mentioned the walking trees thing in the episode. Like real life kind of quote unquote walking trees. But here's what my DuckDuckGo AI assistant has to say about them. Walking trees, such as the Socratia exoriza, are palm trees that appear to walk by growing new roots in the direction of sunlight while older roots die off. This unique adaptation allows them to gradually shift their position, although the movement is very slow, typically just a few centimeters per day. But they move, constantly sliding across the forest floor going towards the sun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, phototropism at its finest.
Right? It's pretty cool. They'll cross like creek beds and stuff. If you look up pictures of them, you'll see them like crossing these embankments where like the root reaches out and grabs the other side and starts pulling the tree over.
That's an amazing addition to that, so thank you. Yeah. Well done on that little tidbit. I like it. But we are going to shift gears now. I know you don't know what we're doing, but this is what we're doing.
Not really, no.
We are going to actually shift gears back to skin
walkers.
Yeah, and the reason is there's I'm reading Stalking the Trickster, Shapeshifters, Skinwalkers, and Dark Adepts in 2012 by Christopher O'Brien. And it's dovetailing into weird things that have happened. There's one story I kind of skipped from back in the day from a family member because it's kind of only adjacent to maybe what this could be, but you know, everything kind of dovetails, and I think you're going to see why. But I want to remind people how we got here because we started with that. It was my first episode, basically. My first deep dive was Skinwalkers, and I didn't do it justice. I wasn't really in my mojo yet, but at the same time, it's what started this whole trend. But we have the guy sitting across from me. You had quickly, you had a situation where you seeing someone along the side of the road and you're driving somebody, and what happened there? Just real quick recap.
You can find that story at the end of episode 5, but it's, well, put it this way, I call it my hitchhiking skin
walker
story.
Yeah.
You saw the same guy twice, you know.
And it was 5 miles apart, and he would have had to drive.
I was going 65 miles an hour.
He would have, again, had to have been faster than the car, which is, again a common trope.
It's hard to really shorthand that story. It's at the end of episode 5, after all the other ones from Alex Bone.
And you had another run-in with you and Logan kind of staring one down, which I learned from this book, and I'm not sure I even said it in that two-parter, but you're not supposed to stare at these things in the eye.
Yeah.
And it's actually something that then it could have a power over you. But this is what you and Logan did. You really did kind of say, we know what you are, piss off, especially Logan at the very end of the story.
Yeah. That's episode 18, Fear and Logan in Flagstaff. Probably still our best title.
And our friend Kyle, who, he firsthand account, he didn't see this, but again, he heard a firsthand account from someone who something dragged up along the side of a house, seemed to be dragged over the house, and then came back down the other side. It was this blood streak across this house.
That is one of Alex Bones' stories, and also episode 5.
And Alex Bone, he sees a crayon yellow coyote guardian where he goes camping, which he said was a not coyote. He also
3-legged.
Last New Year's, we're all camping and hanging out and shooting off fireworks, whatever we're doing. And something comes through the wash, and Bones, having this jabber-jibber thing with a monster, and he says, "Go away, monster." But his brother pulls in and says, "There's a monster in the driveway." Like it was a coyote. But he goes, "I guess it was a coyote," but he didn't think it was a coyote.
And you have to put in that his brother is total Scully muggle.
Total Scully
He does
muggle.
not. Yeah. He would not listen to this podcast. He does not believe in this stuff.
And
he's the one totally unprovoked. It's like, I think I just saw a monster out front.
Yeah.
Like, what did you just say?
and Greg and Cisco, who we just joked about earlier, at least in the episode, Greg saw an astral buffalo leave someone who's recently deceased. This astral buffalo kind of just going straight through the desert.
That was episode 41, Rock Shop Greg's Goblins and Ghouls story or something like that.
There you go. And Cisco, who you live with, who comes into our garage to kind of get us started most days, he had a hellhound kind of haunting him. Yeah. So all these things have a flavor of the skin.
Episode 53, 4?
There you go.
Oh, you're testing me on this one, Moss.
But all these have the same flavor, right?
Right.
So then I'm reading Christopher O'Brien's, and I thought, geez, I really got to go back to this stuff because some other weird things have happened that I don't think know if you're aware of any of what I'm about to say.
Okay.
But this is from his book, and it will be in the show notes. And again, it's Stalking the Tricksters, Shapeshifters, Skinwalkers, Dark Adepts in 2012. But he basically has this little story about what he ran into. And one evening, Wednesday, November 10th, 1999, at 6:20 p.m., I was taking a shower in the attached greenhouse, looking out the west-facing plate glass windows that made up the western side of the greenhouse. I noticed with a start what could only be described as an antler-adorned, 6-foot-tall, bipedal creature gliding across the front of the windows from left to right. The being was in the shadow, just out of the thin light projected out of the yard, but I was able to easily discern its distinctive shape. When I first noticed the movement, I was facing sideways to the window, and I only had a peripheral view of the apparition. But as I turned, I distinctly witnessed something that looks like that of which I've never seen before or since. Now, this occurred, I believe, in Crestone, Colorado, where he's from. So that's, and this is again 1999.
Bipedal, standing straight up, antlered creature.
Which is kind of a chindi, anything that's standing up. But,
yeah.
But at the same time, he then, later that night, I think it's the same night. Later that evening.
Is there more detailed about what it looked like?
Just this, he describes it. He thinks he saw a skin
walker.
And he just thinks it was this antlered, standing up-end antler that's just gliding, not even. Wow. And again, Greg's was gliding. The buffalo was gliding.
Yeah, it went right through the fences without breaking them and stuff.
Again, a lot of these dovetailed, which is why I'm kind of doing this tonight, because we all seem to have the same variations of a theme as what we see. But later that evening, and this is again the same book, Christopher O'Brien, later that evening at 11:30 p.m., I was with my friend Amber. We observed what appeared to be like a prairie dragon-like form travel from the porch through the dog door into the living room. Amber and I simultaneously saw a transparent beige-colored form enter through the dog door, which was only 2 feet away from us. We both heard what sounded like a dog whine.
Huh.
Yeah. And then while researching this, last quote from him, while researching this chapter, I found that rapping sounds going around your house are attributed by some Dene as being a skin
walker
attempting to get your attention. Now, we did talk about that stuff in our episode, but the reason it dovetails into what I'm about to say is because there's more stories that are kind of like that we haven't even discussed yet. And one of them, when they saw this prairie dragon thing, this weird chimerical creature, this little thing, beige thing, come in through the door and kind of sinuously kind of come into the room. I might have told you this one, but go ahead.
I really liked the phrase prairie dragon.
Prairie dragon, yeah. Well, the reason I mention that is, and I think I might have told you this story, my wife, I just go inside. It's always like, as soon as I leave, there's a monster, right? Yeah. So I go inside, and my wife is having her last smoke, and she sees something out of the corner of the eye. She describes it as otter-like the way it moved. Ooh. It's sinuous. Now, this is in the desert outside of Phoenix. This thing is kind of sinuous, is what she said. Now, he didn't use the word sinuous. I did put those words in his mouth. But her story, she said it moved like an otter, or she could have said it could have been, when I said Gila monster, maybe, but she was thinking more otter-like. But she didn't come in to get me. She thought it was too big to be something that would normally be like a prairie dog or something. Yeah. It was bigger than that, and it moved oddly, and she just ignored it and went about her business. Never went inside knowing. And I said, you know what I do with my little podcast? Like, why? She goes, you're going to go out and try to poke it with a stick. Like, I don't even want to. No. Like, just, she didn't want me involved. And you know, a lot of people feel that way, including my wife.
Take a picture, man. Yeah. Take a picture.
She didn't move. She wouldn't move. And that's her stories. But the reason I mention it is that one's kind of like that. Another story, another family member, same house. All these three stories happen, I would say it's southwest of Phoenix, out in the desert a ways there, but kind of in desolate outside of Phoenix proper kind of thing. All three of these stories I'm about to say happen at the same place.
Some about that spot.
Well, I know, but this story happened about 4 or 5 years ago. Another family member who was alone at that place says all of a sudden the garage door, which it's to the kitchen, is the adjoining room. So all these cabinets and glasses and everything starts rattling. It's like an earthquake in one area of the house, and he's just looking at this rattling and hearing this and not really. It took him a little bit to kind of grasp what was happening. Realize it's only in this one area. Seems to be centered around the garage, between the garage door and the kitchen. He finally gets up the gumption and just opens the door. And as soon as he opens the door, everything stops.
Whoa!
That was it. And I never told you that one, right? So,
no.
This is a family member, 5 or 6 years ago, same house. Fast forward, I don't think I told you this. Maybe I did, but you can let me know. But we're over there at that place by ourselves. My wife and I were watching the place because they're away and we're taking care of the pets. And I hear this knock, which sounds like a cop knock. And I had just gone to bed.
Bang, 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 bang.
Correct. And she's out again smoking, actually. Or out where she's not even inside. She's definitely outside. So I wake up and I don't go to the front door. I go out to find my wife, and said, well, someone's knocking. So I walk around the house, nothing. So I said, well, I'm up now. I had actually gone to bed, and I think I fell asleep, and this woke me up. Mm-hmm. So I said, do you want to watch a movie? Because I'm up now. And she's like, sure. So we watched the Monolith Monsters on Tubi, classic Crystal Rock monsters. Really, it's a good 50s, sci-fi. So we're watching the Monolith Monsters. Middle of the movie, the Monolith Monsters, boom, 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 boom. From up, it's the skylight right above the couch.
Dude,
where
they're
we're
on
sitting.
the roof.
But
yeah.
So here's the thing. Again, that follows the tropes, right? Yeah. Now the reason I didn't tell a story, and because this happened, and I didn't tell you this one, did I? It's only happened. I would say, I'm gonna have to figure it out, but 2 or 3 months ago. It was the last. It was only a few months ago.
But when we went on or during the hiatus.
Yeah. But the reason I didn't think a big deal of it, when the owners returned, I said, the pigeons are always on the roof. Do the pigeons ever peck at the skylight? And they said, yes. Does it sound like knocking? Yes. More I think about it, though, I'm not so convinced.
When you've already heard.
First of all, we got to talk an ornithologist, because our pigeons going to be pecking at anything in the middle at 3 in the morning?
Not in the middle of the
I would
night.
say this was around 1 a.m.
Owls, if anything.
Yeah.
But that opens another can of worms with this crew.
Yeah. Well,
But no, when you put it together with the other things, when you have the garage, the area by that
that's
door.
why I'm telling it now, because it kind of came together.
And you have the knocking twice or the knocking on the door before that, and then you get that knock.
Yeah.
If it was just the knocking on the skylight, I would be like, it was a bird chasing a bug that was drawn to the light in the window or whatever. But when you add those, when that's all happening at once,
we need to talk to an ornithologist, because if it's not normal behavior, the pecking maybe could sound like a knock. It's why I didn't think much of it, because the owner had a rationale.
You've been in this place a number of times.
No, this was odd. I still think it was odd.
And like I said, if it was just that, then I'd be like, I wouldn't think anything of it. But when it is in conjunction with these other things, when you've already been hearing banging that night and things like that, then you can't just separate it into separate things. It's one thing.
And I walked around the perimeter both times, when the first knock and then an hour later, halfway through the movie, the second knock, which again, we just had to look up to the skylight. We didn't see anything, but I walked around, nothing. But back to owls. This is the place I told you I've never seen an owl, and during that owl chaos, I saw owls everywhere, and I didn't see any owls at this place. And my family members are like, it's because there's no trees around in this area. There wouldn't be any place for them to perch. It's very just barren, deserty.
What were you working on? Because this was hiatus. Were you working on your monster theory stuff?
I was probably reading. I had Yasmin Musherbash's Monster Anthropology.
My favorite name, by the way. Yasmin Musherbash.
I've said it wrong too. I got to apologize to her. I've said it wrong, but it's Yasmin Musherbash.
Love it.
But here's the end of the story. So the last time I was there, it's about 10:30, 11. Our INFJ, my wife and me, are just about to go to bed. Everybody else is inside. This was a big family thing, but we're the last ones up. We're all just about to go inside. Two little baby almost first flight ground owls come flying into under the porch we were on, and we spooked them. So one flew out and left, and the other one hid in a corner. And when I walked up to it, it wasn't a great horned owl. It looked more like the little Lechuza ugly old lady owl with the beak. It looked really the creepy face.
Whoa!
And we assume it's a burrow owl, and we assume it was close because these things could barely fly. Must have been one of their first flights. But then sadly, it flew towards us. And the INFJ goes, "Oh no, the fan!" And it hit the fan, but it's a very slow moving fan, so it just kind of knocked it out and out from under, and it flew away. So I hope and I think it was fine. Okay. Probably okay. It flew fine, but
it would have fallen if it wasn't.
That
okay.
Again, the only place I hadn't seen owls yet, right. and it was there, and then that happened, and it was these two creepiest little owls.
I did have a conversation with our resident INFJ recently, and I think they're going to come on the podcast.
Oh, that's good. Cool.
Yeah, negotiations are underway.
So the last story, I'm just at Kurt's. Now this is Camp Verde country, so I'm hanging out, in the cottonwoods, and their neighbors come over. We're having like a fire petty kind of thing, and the neighbors come out of the woods, and I start talking to the lady because she did some of the similar things in work. So we were joking. I said, "Hey, if you got any online work, I would work from home kind of thing." So she goes, "Well, sure. Like we're hiring in 6 months. Kind of get me. Do you have a card?" I said, "Yes, I have my Monster Lore Tour card, for my paranormal podcast." So she laughs, and then she gets very serious right after that. And she goes, "I think we have a Skinwalker in the neighborhood." She goes, I'm hearing this thing climb up on my roof at night.
Yeah, the roof, dude. They're sprinkling dead baby bone powder down your chimney to make you sick.
But the reason I decided to dovetail, and I'm reading, Christopher O'Brien's, it's a fun one, by the way, if you can get your hands on it. But it's just like these stories keep dovetailing, and no matter how... And yes, things have gotten a little weirder for us since we started doing deep dive paranormals. We get into Trickster and Paranormal and George Hansen, and I get into my Trickster monster theory and everything. It explains why things get weird when you go into the abyss and you keep looking, or at least that it's expected to happen.
Yeah.
And but I still always marvel how these stories dovetail into one another and how they continue and how weird things have been, even for us. When you think about New Year's and you think about your weird experience, like that's all since we've been podcasting. That isn't.
Yeah.
We have our weird stories, which is why we did this. But
even like
it's kind of a stepping up a little bit.
Even things like the deer following my dog and I through the woods that day.
Yeah.
Like so many weird things. I forget which ones I've actually said on the podcast and which ones I haven't. Like I lose track.
Yeah.
But it's a lot. And I had weird things before, but It got weirder, man.
Yeah.
It got weirder. Like my bookmark, that's the tarot card that I found that has my picture on it. Mm-hmm. Like it literally looks like
you
me.
showed me that. Yeah, it does.
It's the Aerophant tarot card. It was literally laying in my path as I walked my dog.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
Like, come on, dude.
Yeah. There's tarot cards dropping out of the sky.
Yeah.
When I talked about owls, RINFJ turned it on me and said, "What owls mean to you? I always dream about owls when you come to visit." Yeah. This was all news. Yeah. And a lady who I never would have never said anything except I happened to make a joke about my podcast card, then goes right into,
and all of a sudden,
yeah, here we are. Your roommate, the guy who was just here, Greg. Yeah. Everyone seems to have had. It's way more prevalent than I even thought, as far as the weirdness in the Southwest and the weirdness everywhere, really.
Dude, I have come to believe that everyone's got a story. It's just a matter of whether they want to talk about it or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody's had weird stuff happen.
Yeah. I have my Scully Muggle friends, and I told you this, and they've been stoic with their no and we don't believe it and shut up. I finally broke into that group because finally one guy said, "Well, I actually blank." And I've been saying this for years, and the guy finally said something, and then the girlfriend of someone who, the regular, brought a new girlfriend, and she had a story. So 2 stories did arrive at that table. Yep. And it's like, and that again is the toughest group.
And there were a couple more there who just don't talk about it.
Probably. That would be my bet. Yeah, it would be my bet.
Or they don't even realize. Like, they just write it off. Like, I didn't really see that.
Yeah.
But that's what a lot of people do. They see something weird, and they're like, I didn't really see that.
Yeah. But this has been a long, strange trip. And especially the owl thing for me was a weird one, which I was more excited about than anything and didn't know why. And it became more exciting just because
it's going to get weirder.
We don't know what happened. There's owls. But I also want to reiterate for follow-up on that. I saw those 2 little owls. I haven't seen anything in 6 months other than those that, like back in I hear occasional hoot. I'm hearing nothing, seeing that. It's back to normal baseline owl behavior. And I didn't know what was going to happen or not.
I really haven't heard an owl since.
Yeah, if you come
they
record,
were everywhere.
If you go back and we record there, you're not going to see. Well, you were seeing owls when we were recording.
They were everywhere.
They were everywhere. Yeah,
for 6.
They were interested.
6 weeks to 2 month range kind of time where they were everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere we went, we heard them or saw them or both.
Wild.
Or they're giving us feathers or tarot cards.
Yeah, it just keeps getting weirder.
So it's been interesting, and
it makes me want to go with you to that house at some point too, and maybe do some stuff.
Yeah, the owners are Scully Muggles.
So. Yeah, but if they're not there,
that's true. Good idea. Yeah. Sounds good to me. Sounds like a plan.
All right. Well, thank you, Maz. Yeah. Always good to take another step down the Skinwalker lore road.
Yeah,
we've taken many at this point. It's probably our most covered subject, but it just keeps coming around. But I guess it's a big part of it's probably where we're at and what we do. But all right, everybody, that's it for this side trail. We will see you in the next one. You got something, Moz?
We bring some of that Silence of the Lambs tree curry, that last Wolfman Puck, and we'll hang out in the back and check out the monsters.
You do have to pluck the sheep fruit while they're young so that they're tender.
Oh, this is terrible.
It just keeps getting darker. I didn't realize how dark that was going to be until after I said it.
Wow. Well, it's the kind of it's the podcast you come for, kids.
There you go. Well, there you go, everybody. If you like that darkness, please hit the happy fun buttons, like, subscribe, share, ring a bell. You can see the Patreon, patreon.com/monsterlore tour. We actually have releases on remastered releases on YouTube. If you do want to listen to our earliest Skinwalker episodes, if you haven't heard them yet, audio is way better on YouTube for those, because I didn't really know what I was doing yet in episodes 3 and 4, but I did learn later how to remaster them, and then I started the YouTube. So if you want to start at the beginning, go to YouTube. If you catch up with that, jump back to the audio platform. It's kind of the best way to approach us at this point.
Yeah, but I wouldn't approach us.
I'd just stay as far away as possible. I wouldn't touch us with a 10-foot pole at this point.
Obviously not.
Unless it was sticking out of a wormhole, and then I'm diving in, because I got to see where that goes. But until the next one, anything else, Moz?
No, just
tell our paranormalists.
Don't point at me like that.
I will point at you however I want.
Okay, that's fine. Boy, it gets bossy at the end.
Till the next one, stay groovy, baby. All right. And hello, everybody, and welcome to Side Trail 88 of the Monster Lore Tour Paranormal Deep Dives from the Edge of Nowhere podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Carr, here with your co-host and the guy who escaped from a mental institution, the infamous and almighty Moz. How you been there, Moz?
Actually, politically correct. It's like loony bin kind of.
I called it loony bin in the episode. I thought I was like stepping over a little bit, maybe.
Batshit MF loony bins. That's more politically correct these days. You got to be politically correct these days.
We could call it asylum like Arkham.
Yeah.
That's where the Joker was.
Yeah, just Arkham works for me, actually. I'd sit next to it.
You could learn a lot. I could just call it Arkham.
I'd learn a lot.
It's in Arizona, but I could call it that.
One of those establishments. Got the Penguin next door, and you got the Joker on the other side. I think you'd learn a lot in those little stints.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anywho, we're here for Side Trail 88 of Monster Lore Tour. Springs straight out of episode 88. So if you haven't heard it yet, jump on back and listen to episode 88, all about Winnie Ruth Judd and the most famous murder case in the history of Arizona. Because we're coming like straight out of that episode for the Side Trail. It's not in any way disconnected. It is straight out of the episode. This is when you really got to listen to the episode for. But for the Side Trail here, we're going to actually look at the little bit of bright side of the Winnie Ruth Judd saga. We know from the episode that Ruth spent damn near 39 years officially in the custody of the state of Arizona. But it turns out that for some of those years, she wasn't quite in what you would call their custody, because she was out on the lam.
Out on the lawn.
Yeah. She was running with the lions because she was on the lam.
There you go.
Did that make sense?
No.
But I digress. Let's start at the beginning. When Ruth was transferred from death row to Arkham, see, there you go, I'll say Arkham.
I like it.
She kept getting told that if she just kept her head down and her mouth shut,
she could get the Batman.
She would soon get a parole hearing, and that they were sure to let her out on parole just as soon as they could. Politically speaking.
Right.
That is. Yeah. You know?
Next time, dear.
Yeah, we'll get to you soon. You're on the list. Don't worry. We'll get to you soon. Yeah. Then they proceeded to come up with excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse. Oh, excuse me. I feel broken, but I say it so many times because it took them over 6 years. Ruth played nice and waited for her day in the sun. But they had no real intention of letting her back out from that dark corner that they threw her in with the Joker and the Penguin and all that stuff Moz was saying in the opening there. Yeah. So eventually, Ruth accepted the writing on the wall. No one was coming to save her. She had no Batman. They had no intention of letting her out of here after everyone pretty much, realizing that she didn't really belong there to begin with even. So, she did what I hope I would do in her situation at that point. After about 6.5 years of waiting patiently, on October 24th, 1939, she took matters into her own hands, and she left.
Is this where they chip away at the wall with Clint Eastwood, and then they get on those rafts on the shoreline?
Actually,
okay. She
literally walked out the front door and disappeared into the desert.
That's the way to do it back then. Yeah.
Let's go, Ruth.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Nice. For
6 days, Ruth was on the lam. She spent most of it hiding out in a nearby cornfield, but she managed to visit her now aging parents and even mailed a letter to the governor, and not even to plead her case, attempting to expose the horrible conditions residents were living in Arkham.
Yeah.
Which I'm calling,
Arkham.
It's like the Arizona State Mental Hospital or whatever they called it. I forget the specific name they used for it even.
Arpiocum.
I was in the same room as him once, and I felt like this. I was like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
And I was like, what just happened? And I looked back in the room, like, oh, gotcha. Let's get the hell out of here. Anywho, Ruth was only, and I'm going to put this in quotes, recaptured by authorities when she showed back up at the back door of the asylum, or the back door of Arkham. She literally came knocking back on the door. I was like, can I come back in now?
It's Chili Reno's day.
She did that.
I'm a little hungry.
She did that because she was shoeless and bruised and in a generally dilapidated state by now from living out in a cornfield for almost a week.
I get you.
But they still abused her a bit upon her return. In response, once she'd gotten herself back to full health, she escaped again on December 3rd of the same year. Barely over a month after the first time. So Ruth wasn't playing nice anymore.
This time they checked the cornfield.
She's like, you said you were going to let me out of here?
Yeah.
I'm fucking leaving.
Yeah.
You know? Excuse me. I'm ducking leaving.
Yeah. I'm with her. I
this time.
with that message.
So this time, she starts learning, you see. This time, she made it quite a bit farther down the road. Or in this case, the tracks. She started following the train tracks by night and sleeping out in the wilds during the day to avoid being spotted.
Did she think about, train hopping,
Well, she wanted to be real sure no one saw her. Someone might see you on the train eventually. Like the train guys walk the trains and check the cars.
You can jump on and ride for a while and then jump off.
It's not as easy as it sounds either, unless you get it when it's not moving.
No.
But it's easy enough to stay out of sight of the trainmen when you're not on the train and just walking the tracks, especially at night.
No.
Plenty of time to hide out before the train can, guys on the train can see you. You know the train's coming. The real thing is she would have had to have been brave enough to cross the bridges.
Right.
Anyone who's seen Stand By Me knows what that can turn into. It seems she had plenty of courage for that because, get this, she walked all the way to Yuma from Phoenix.
Her first mistake.
Wow.
Yeah.
Walked from Phoenix to Yuma.
That's crazy.
Following the train tracks.
That's crazy.
Right?
Yeah. It's not
check it on the map, people.
Not the way to go either. It's the wrong direction.
It is barren desert, and it is and back then, this is 1930.
Yeah.
Or, what is this, 1939, did I say, I think, at this point? But even still, like, Phoenix was small. Like, she had an extra dozens of miles to walk out of there compared to now even. And even now you look at the map and look how far it is from Phoenix to Yuma.
Yeah.
And walking across that desert.
Yeah. And then getting, after all that work and effort, to Yuma.
And then you're in Yuma.
And you're in Yuma. Yeah. And then you're like, well, okay then.
Oh, man. But when she arrived, she was a bit banged up, but happy to be there.
Whoa.
But she was noticed. Well, I mean, when you came out of Arkham.
Yeah. You finally hit a town.
But she was noticed by police while drinking a bottle of buttermilk on the steps of the local courthouse.
Yeah.
Not because they knew who she was. She looked very bedraggled and was drinking milk on the courthouse steps.
Yeah.
Like,
I get you.
Can we help you?
Yeah, exactly.
The whole hiding in plain sight thing didn't work too well for her this time, is basically what I'm saying. But, like I said, she's practicing. It's all in good practice. So when they got her back to Arkham this time, her keepers were extraordinarily bemused at her making them look the fools by escaping twice in such a short period of time. This time they really locked her up. You ready for this? 2 years consecutive of solitary confinement.
Yikes.
2 years.
That's insane.
Of solitary confinement. 2 straight years alone in a cell, barefooted and in pajamas.
You either become the Buddha after that or the Riddler.
It's one or the other, right?
One or the
Either
other.
the Joker or the Buddha, yeah. They obviously didn't have a copy of the Constitution in Arkham in those days, but did they ever in Arkham? In her letter to the governor about the hard conditions there, like I said, was summarily ignored. Of course, nobody gave a damn. But don't you worry, good listeners. Ruth's spirit was too strong even for the entire power structure of the state of Arizona to keep down for very long. She ran a few more practice escapes, as I'll call them, in May of 1947, November of 1951, February of 1952, and on Thanksgiving Day of 1952. Each time she was out for a short time, varyingly, but, little longer, little shorter, sometimes very short, sometimes a little longer, but always then returned to returned to Arkham.
Yeah.
Sometimes under her own power.
Well,
Like
if
the
you go
first
to
one.
Yuma, you're going to want to go back to Arkham.
Well, in the Yuma one, they brought her back.
Oh,
The one
right,
before
right.
that, she
They
brought
came
herself
back,
back.
yeah.
It was kind of a
Yeah, it's a
rotating
cycle.
cycle of
Yeah.
that, of her coming back and then bringing her back.
You're really selling our
Sometimes-
area.
Sometimes they didn't find her. She just came back, which is crazy.
Yeah. You shouldn't do any brochures for this region.
But then, on October 8th, 1962, 31 years after the murders of Agnes Ann Leroy and Hedvig Samuelson, Ruth finally got it right and escaped for reals.
Ooh.
You ready? Excuse me. But before we tell that story, let me address the lingering question on everyone's mind at this point. How does she keep getting out?
It's a good question.
The answer is actually so much simpler than you might think. She had a key to the front door.
That's awesome.
I love this part of the story.
Yeah, that's good.
Those 6 years of waiting for her chance at freedom were not idle years. This is the 6 years of her keeping her head down, playing nice, that I was talking before her first escape. She actually went above and beyond. She took a very active part in the life at the Arkham Asylum, so much so that the staff members, especially the women who believed Ruth innocent of the crimes for which she was committed, began to see her as one of their own. She worked at a clinic, like she knew a little bit about nursing. She was an empathetic person. She took care of people while she was in there. And eventually she had so many privileges, it was almost like she was a member of the staff. She was allowed to leave the grounds unsupervised, running errands to nearby stores and such things.
I'm not even allowed to do that for this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. We don't let Moz out of our sight. Never.
Rightly
Not
so.
unattended.
Yeah.
And she was so free to move around, no one thought it odd to see her coming and going during business hours for a while there. Anyway. Then one day, as casual as could be, one of the nurses who had become a friend of Ruth's slid her something on the DL, and Ruth found a key in her hand.
Dang.
Turned out it was a key to the front door of Arkham.
Nice.
Huh. Imagine that. She's like, you might need this to go to the store later.
Yeah.
Okay. Now Ruth, this is crazy. So Ruth was true to her word, keeping her head down, being the model inmate
Right.
for as long as she could bear. But never did she reveal her possession of the key to anyone. Apparently, neither did the nurse who gave it to her for all of all of her 7
Wow.
eventual escape
Nice.
attempts.
Nice.
She escaped 7 times, dude.
That's awesome.
Never did anyone figure out that she was simply letting herself out the front door whenever she wanted.
There you go.
She had a key to the front door.
Nice. Good work if you can get it.
And every time she was sent back to that horrible place, she would smuggle that precious key back in with her. That way, no matter what horrible things they thought to do to her, no matter how long they put her in solitary confinement and didn't let her see the sun, she knew that one day there would come a time when she would walk back out that front door and once again breathe the air of freedom.
Yeah, that's good.
As long as she had that key.
That's awesome.
She still had the key in 1992 when Jana Bommersbach's book came out about her.
Wow.
When she was
so
getting
Bommersbach is the one from
when she
the
was-
story.
when
Yeah.
she was getting, she's the one that wrote the book.
Yeah.
When she was getting interviewed
Oh,
for the
okay.
book in the late 80s, early 90s, she still had the key.
Gotcha.
She had been out of prison for 20 years.
And showed her the key. The
She
person who
didn't-
did the story.
She still had
That's
the key.
awesome. That's awesome.
I imagine she had, like, it's been a while and she was already old. So, I imagine she had the key buried with her when she passed because I know I would have. I know I would have. But anywho, back to our story here. So on her 7th escape, where I said she finally got it right, she might have had a little help in the fact that it didn't seem like people were really trying that hard to find her this time as compared to the times before. Here's a little passage from Jana Bommersbach's book that I was just mentioning. Quote, Winnie Ruth Judd no longer warranted banner headlines when she escaped for the 7th time on October 8th, 1962. A small story in the Republic, which is the big Phoenix paper to this day, simply declared, Winnie's gone again. There was none of the frenzy for her first half-dozen escapes. No dogs were called out. Police agencies did not mobilize their forces. Quote, nobody seems to be looking very hard for the 56-year-old tiger woman who is no longer considered dangerous. Unquote,
Yeah, she escaped all this time, never hurt anybody.
Yeah.
Obviously.
This time it wasn't hours that she was free, nor days, nor months. This time it was 6.5 years.
Nice.
Kind of an ironic number in this case. She took her key and she walked away.
Nice. Like that James Gang song.
Yeah. If you want to know how she really pulled it all off, you'll have to read the book. This is just a side trail off of episode 88. It's not a full-length thing, so you're going to have to read the book. Jana Bommersbach, The Trunk Murderess. But yeah, what I will tell you is what she was actually doing for those 6.5 years, though. Okay? And I think it's funny that she was out for 6.5 years after 6.5 years of keeping her head down before she escaped for the first time.
Oh, that seems to be a number.
And then when she finally escapes for real, at 6.5 years she's out.
There you go.
Which I'm foreshadowing a bit. There is a limit on this, but we're going to come around. There is a shining light at the end. There is a reasonably happy ending. So stick with us here, people. So when she first walked out of there, her extended family helped kind of hide her out and get her to California and set her up with a little apartment. This is like nieces and nephews and stuff. Her brother was always a big advocate for her and things like that. So it was like the next generation of the family was like, let's help out Auntie, man. She needs us. You know what I mean? And they got her out of there. So once she was established in California, she assumed a new name, Marion Ruth Lane, and a new backstory. Kind of funny. She liked Ruth enough. She's going to keep going by it. A little risky to me, but the new backstory was that she was a widow who spent most of her adult life caring for her ill and now deceased parents. This gave her the excuse of no professional work history, but a resume to get her a position similar to the role she voluntarily filled as a nurse to the sickly in Arkham for all those years. The strategy paid off. Ruth got herself a position with a very well-to-do family, caring for the aging matron of the estate. Ruth quickly fell into the goodest graces of the family, and it wasn't long before they were seeing her as one of their own. For years, Ruth took care of not only the matron, but the general needs of the house that included 3 generations of the family at that time. After 6 years of living with this family, Ruth thought that her new life would last forever. Unfortunately, the police turned up doing their actual job for once. This is going to be so crazy again, like you're going to be, this can't really happen. And the whole fairy tale life of Mary and Ruth Lane came crashing down like a house of cards. You can't make this shit up.
So the police show up.
You see, there was a murder in the neighborhood. This one also not committed by our friend Ruth.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But the police did a sweep of the neighborhood, including running the plates on all the cars parked in the area. See if any one of them were stolen or anything, you know?
Right.
At this point, Ruth had her own car, registered in her new name of Marion Ruth Lane. It was amazingly easy to run away and start a new life back in those days. People now have no idea the kinds of freedoms we've given up in this country over the last 100 years.
No. Last 20.
But that is a discussion for a different time, and we actually talked about that a little in the episode, I think.
Yeah.
But right now, we're talking about Ruth's rights. And pretty soon, she'll be faced with the right to go right on back to her cell at Arkham, because it turns out she had made one little, but in the end, crucial mistake. The name under which she was living, in registering her vehicles, the name Marion Ruth Lane, was a name she had used on one of her previous escapes that lasted long enough for her to require an alias.
Oh, boy.
Just so happens, this is how life works, that one of the LA cops who had worked on the case way back when actually remembered this random little fact.
Oh, my gosh.
He remembered the name. He's
That's
like,
crazy.
That's familiar. Why do I know that name?
That's dumb. That's crazy.
So they ran a check on Marion Ruth Lane. They came out to talk to her. Turned out she wasn't who she said she was.
No.
By which I mean she was who the cop thought she was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you imagine
that's
that?
crazy.
After all that,
That's
a cop
insane.
actually doing his proper job.
Yeah. And he does it at the wrong time when they just led this woman
wrong
alone.
Too. Exactly, because we're going to talk about just how wrong it was.
Yeah, there's no just there.
But they take Ruth back.
Yep.
Key and all.
Yeah.
To Arkham.
Yes, poor key was.
She still has the key. After all that time, she got the key back with her because she still had it later.
No.
She still had it 30 years later.
People changed.
This is the good part of the story. I'm so glad there's a happy part of the story.
Yeah.
But things were different now upon Ruth's return. Pretty much everyone in the entire state of Arizona, from the casual newsreader to the members of the parole board, were like, oh God, no, not this again. Please, no. Let's not do this again. Yeah. We were good enough. Letting her alone. She was gone. Nobody was thinking about it no more. Why are we doing this?
Why'd you bring her back,
They had all been so content to just let Ruth go live whatever life she was living and not ever think about it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And again, the biggest skeleton in Arizona's closet. I mentioned that either in the episode or here.
Had the skeleton key.
It's back. It just came alive like a zombie and is like, and everybody's freaking out. Like the psyche of the whole city is just like, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
All because this one cop did his job right.
Yeah.
Even when they do it right, it's wrong in this story. Good Lord.
Yeah.
So Ruth had backing this time. Upon finding out her real identity, her wealthy matron friend that she's been taking care of for the last 6.5 years still had her back 100%, even after finding out who she actually was. The pressure put on the Arizona legal system to set Ruth free built up to a point that something finally had to give. The public, celebrities, governors of other states, like, you can't even imagine the outpouring of, get this woman out of prison.
Free Ferris.
Yeah, save Ferris, man. But it still took some time for the powers that then were to buck up and get her done. Mm-hmm. Arizona was on, get this, its 6th governor since Ruth got put away the first time.
Dang.
And the politicians just had no idea what the proper political play was here.
Was that Governor William J. Lepetamaine?
Governor William J. Lepetamaine. Can I get a harumph?
Harumph.
I gotta stop doing that every time I hear it. So after way too long hemming and hawing, like 2 more years of Ruth being incarcerated long, 2 more years after being free for 6.5, she was finally given a proper release on parole into the custody of her wealthy matron benefactor, who guaranteed her a place for life. I will take care of her for the rest of her life if you let her go, was basically the deal she made.
Mm-hmm.
On Christmas Eve, 1971, some 40 years after the murder of her 2 best friends, the woman now officially known as Marion Ruth Lane returned to her proper home with her wealthy matron and her family.
Wow.
She was assured a lifetime of comfort on the family's estate. A happy ending to one of the more gruesome of modern fairy tales. Marion Ruth Lane was able to start putting her old life behind her and maybe finally find some bit of real happiness in a life so horribly put to waste.
Until I don't want any more to happen.
But I'm sorry, Maz, but I'm going to say but. Okay. It's still an okay, happy-ish ending, though.
Yeah.
That lasted a long time. She was there a long time. But there is one more thing I got to tell you about. So, but, as Robert Frost said, and you know it's going to be great when it's Robert Frost, quote, "Nature's first green is gold, her hardest hue to hold." And the golden glow of Ruth's new fairy tale life did finally go green with rot. Time goes by, don't you know? And the couple of women of the family who were the ones ensuring Ruth's continued residence at the family estate passed from the passing of time. And it was then that Ruth's welcome finally wore out.
No, why? What exactly?
To explain what I mean,
okay.
I have here in my possession, showed this to you earlier, Maz, a newspaper clipping of an article from an unknown newspaper, as I only have a portion of the page. This was stuck in the book. I bought the book at the used bookstore, Bookman's here in Flagstaff, and it had this article just stuck in the book. That's why I love used books.
That's cool.
But the story...
And it had a key. It had this strange key in this little secret compartment.
There's a little key in a hole in the back. But the story is byline credited to the Associated Press. I can tell you that much. And a handwritten... This might be the coolest part. A handwritten date on the page let me know that it's from January 2nd, 1983. 1983. We have now traveled 52 years through time on this case. Okay. We started the episode in 1931, and we're finishing the side trail in 1983.
Dang.
That's how long this whole saga took to
play
out. Play out. If it was a Shakespeare play, it would have like 7 acts.
Yeah. Well, okay. 7 trunks.
But let me read to you from this article to let you know how this all turns out. Headline: Trunk Murderer wins suit over servitude. Dateline, Oakland, California. Trunk Murderer. It's horrible they're still calling her that in the paper, by the way. Let me take a second to calm down. I'll start again. Trunk Murderer Winnie Ruth Judd has won a settlement against the estate of a woman who sheltered her as a fugitive and as a parolee. Under the settlement, Judd, now 77 years old, will receive payments of $1,250 a month for the rest of her life, as well as a lump sum of $50,000 immediately, according to court documents. The Oakland Tribune reported Friday that an oral agreement added $175,000 to that. This is 1983. The payments settle a $408 million suit that contended that Judd was an indentured servant without formal wages during the 11 years she worked for John and Ethel Blemmer of Danville. Judd was sentenced to death for the October 17, 1931 shooting murder of her Phoenix roommate Agnes Ann Leroy. The body was found after a passerby in a Los Angeles train station noticed a trunk addressed to Judd with blood dripping from it. Notice how wrong the details on this story are, by the way.
Yeah, it's not even following.
There's going to be a little more that's really wrong, too, again. So hold on. Judd was charged but not tried in the murder of another roommate, Hedvig Samuelson, whose dismembered body was found in a suitcase near the trunk. Again, not accurate. Officials found Judd to be insane 72 hours before her scheduled execution. Her sentence was commuted to life imprisonment in 1952. She spent all but a few years of her sentence in Arizona State Hospital for the insane and escaped from it 7 times. Good for you, Ruth.
They got that right.
Yep. The last on October 8th, 1962, when she fled to California and under the assumed name Marion Lane, found a job as housekeeper for Ethel Blemmer's mother in Piedmont. Judd told state labor commissioners that the Blemmers had promised her a home for the rest of her life, which they did, but court documents said Blemmer forced her to leave the house when his wife died. An attorney for the estate, Virginia George, argued that the wage claim is without merit because Judd was treated like a member of the family by the Blemmers, who paid her room, board, and medical costs in $100 a month. That's what the lawyer said. Mm-hmm. But Judd said she worked 14-hour days and was treated as a servant. The clothes given her were uniforms, she said, and her medical bills were paid by Medicare. She said she feared her parole would be revoked if she complained. She said she received a $359 monthly Social Security check, as well as a small pension left by her husband, Dr. William Judd, who died in 1945. Judd no longer lives in the Danville area.
Dang.
So there you go.
That's whack.
She got 11 years on the estate, and then when her friends there died, and the younger ones were like, "Get the hell out, weird old lady."
Yeah.
She was like, "Well, give me my money."
Yeah.
And she got her money.
Wow.
She was paid for the rest of her life, and she was taken care of. So in the end, all that nonsense she had to go through.
That is a crazy.
At least she did end up,
So why didn't anyone make one of those movies of this lady, or have they?
Because no one before figured out what I figured out in my Ajo Guano theory in the main episode 88, of what really happened.
Yeah.
But if that's a movie.
Yeah, if she really is as not guilty as we believe, this whole thing is just the most insane story.
Yeah,
in a long time,
dude. The powers that be in Phoenix probably still don't want a movie to be made about this.
Yeah,
like it was really that bad.
Yeah,
it was really that bad for Phoenix.
Let's do it.
Someone should make this movie, like, especially if, base it on my theory of what went down with everybody thinking everybody was dead and then taking turns actually getting there.
There's not a feather we would not ruffle in this state.
Oh yeah, ruffle every feather. Every feather.
Boil
from the
that
hawks
dust
to the
back,
vultures, man.
Boil.
But anywho, that does it for me, man. That's everything I got on the saga of Winnie Ruth Judd.
That's a crazy one.
Or Mary and Ruth Lane, as she would have wanted to be called at this point.
It was a crazy one from beginning to end.
Yep.
So, nicely done, sir.
Yeah. And remember, you can catch these side trails that are, they come out in compilations of 3 after every third deep dive episode, but you can catch them right along with the episode if you join our Patreon for just $1 a month at patreon.com/monsterloretour. Otherwise, you got to wait, I don't know, until the next compilation comes out.
Yeah, the side trails.
Give us $1. Listen to it now for the next one that you listen to anyway.
There you go.
How does that marketing work? Am I doing a time slip again?
You
I don't
are.
know what's happening.
I don't. Yeah.
But anyway,
but you ended up with some money on an estate for a while, is my understanding. You did fine in the end.
Do I get 11 years in Arkham?
No. You become.
That's the other one.
You become Alfred. You escape, and you become Alfred.
Ooh.
That's how this ends.
Alfred?
Yeah,
I thought you were my Alfred.
No, she became a maid. You escape Arkham and become a.
Have
Alfred.
we done the Alfred to my Batman yet? That would be a good one.
Yeah.
Did we ever use that?
You should, because you sort of might
keep. We've done some Batman ones. I don't think we've done that. I should write that down.
Yep.
Okay, and we're off the rails enough to end the side trail. Hit the auto download, ring the bell, whatever it is you're listening to. Hit all those happy little fun buttons. We'll appreciate every bit of it. And I'll get us out of here. Until the next time, keep your head up and your eyes open. Yes, Maz.
If you hadn't found a little piece of paper in a book, you might not have done this one. So that's kind of an amazing synchronicity in its own right.
If that article wasn't in that book, I might not have bought it.
Yeah.
I will give you that.
There you go.
I'm glad I did.
There you go.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Side Trail 89 of the Monster Lore Tour, Paranormal Deep Dives from the Edge of Nowhere podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Carr, here along with my co-host and the guy who jumps all wimbly nimbly from tree to tree, the Maz. How we doing, Maz?
Isn't that Tarzan?
That was Super Troopers, actually. I'm remembering the meow
scene. Is that the
scene.
big bugs that they have to fight on that planet?
Am I saying meow?
Oh.
Do I look like a cat to you?
Oh,
Jumping all wimbly nimbly from tree to tree?
Nimbly from tree to tree. Yeah, all right. I'm with you.
Because we're cats,
Yeah.
But that's not what we're talking about here.
No, we would be, but you rudely.
It is an usurpation.
Rudely you usurped my side trail.
I did.
And it's a good thing because I lost it.
I usurped it all up like a cat with a saucer of milk.
In an alley. And you won that somehow. Damn you.
You just got to talk until you win. That's how you do it.
Wow. That's very trickstery of you. Nice.
But I kind of need to flip this around because, well, you kind of need to interview me because I have a new US file. But then something happened. It happened to me.
I know. I'm excited.
Last weekend.
That's why I lost that file on purpose.
Yeah. Well, things happen for a reason around here,
Exactly. Because mine sucked.
I made it disappear because I wanted to tell my story.
He did it with his mind.
So I'm just going to start. I'm going to tell you the story straight up, and then we can talk about it. Okay?
Okay. Deal.
It was me and 3 of my college friends. I'm going to call them. I'm not going to use real names. Well, not any. I'm going to call
Chrissy, Jana, and Carla.
I'm going to call them Tron, Skinny, and Hands.
Skinny Hands.
Because we're college buddies,
So Skinny Hands?
There's Tron. There's 3 of them. Tron.
That's a terrible movie.
Skinny, and Hands. Okay. I would be the fat man in this case, I guess. But they came to town. I used to be a tour guide. it's kind of why this podcast has the name it does. The whole monster lore tour is a play on the fact that I used to be an actual like real life take you out in real life kind of tour guide. But my buddies came to town and I took them to some of the places, some of my favorite places. I used to take people on tours and stuff. And of course, one of the first places you go when you come to Flagstaff is the lava
tubes.
There you go. If you look at the picture, the logo for this podcast, there's a picture taken in this cave that I'm about to talk about. This is the lava tube.
Cosmic Ray, right? You get the little guide, Cosmic Ray. For those
you don't get to rely on him for that. They got a map right at the tube and stuff. It's a very official place. Actually, if you go online and search Flagstaff Lava River, for some reason that's what they call it online, even though everyone in Flagstaff calls it the lava tube. If you search online for Flagstaff Lava River, you can find all directions to it. There's probably a map of the cave itself on there. Like, it's super official. It's on the map. All kinds of people in there.
Don't bring a canoe.
I've been in there 50 plus times.
I've been in there once with you.
We have been in there. Pretty much anyone who hangs out with me in Flagstaff for any given amount of time is going to end up in the lava tube with me.
It's a metaphor.
But so we go in. This is a magma chamber. It's a one-way thing. It's basically you walk in. It's 3/4 of a mile long underground in this big old wormhole-looking cave thing. It's straight in. It's straight back. There's one place where it forks, but then it comes right back together.
It's very Bat-cavey.
So, well, my point is you can't get lost.
Yeah.
It's in and out.
Yep.
I've done this, like I said, at least 50 times at this point. I've been in this place, and every time go in, walk to the end.
It ends.
Very distinctly ends. And then you hang out at the end for however long you want, and then you walk back out.
You play Jim Morrison.
It's always been that way. Walk in, walk straight to the end, walk back out. So we go in. We're hiking in. You got to scramble down some boulders to get down into the cave proper, and then it kind of flattens out, and it's really just kind of hiking through a cave. So we get in a good third of the way. So we're a 1/4 mile in anyway, and it's slow hiking, you know what I mean? So we're like 20 minutes in. I know this because we hit the split, and I wasn't paying attention, so we went to the right instead of the left, so we had to do the crawly thing a little bit.
You have to go up and round.
Yeah, the one place where it forks, if you go to the right on the way in, you got to kind of, get down, crawl a little bit. I was like, deep squatting my way through there kind of thing. We came out the other side, and like as we're going through, I was like, damn, I wasn't paying attention. We went the wrong way.
Do you think you went through a portal at that?
I got to tell you the whole I want to tell you the whole story before.
I'm jumping.
Because there's so much to this.
I'm jumping.
There's so much to this. But, and like I've never missed the fork really before either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think I ever made that mistake.
It's very narrow. You usually go the main way where you would
It's really
walk.
easy to see.
It's really easy to see.
Yeah. Yep. But we end up in the wrong side. But we come out the other side and come up out of the crawly space back to where the ceiling is, 15 feet high or whatever. Mm-hmm. And my buddy Skinny comes up behind me first. And I had said to him already, we went the wrong way, you know what I mean? So when we come up, I shine my light, I look down the tunnel, straight ahead, where you go to the end. And I turn around, and you can see the fork. And when Skinny comes up, I'm like, see, we should have come from over here, not from over here. He's like, oh, okay, yeah. And we turned around and continued toward the end. The other guy's following. And we're going for another, I'm going to say, probably a little more than 5 minutes, not somewhere between 5, less than 10 minutes, somewhere a little bit like that. We're hiking down the tunnel, and we're seeing these 2 lights ahead of us. There's these 2 white lights that look like, which was weird because it's like, they were very consistent. They didn't look like flashlights, like 2 little white, almost reflector kind of lights facing back at us on people in front of us almost, it looked like. But we're all just kind of following, like we all see it. We're like, oh yeah, look, there's some people up there, and follow them to the end kind of thing. And then all of a sudden, so we're like, we're a good 20 plus minutes probably into this cave. And all of a sudden, a light turns on. All of a sudden, it's dark, right? And I'm looking ahead. Oh, here's a point. There's one more place we're going to have to kind of get down and crawl a little bit.
It gets the
where the
height
ceiling comes down.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to squat way down,
Yes.
or maybe you
Near
can crawl a little.
yeah.
And I'm seeing that coming up with the two white lights, and I'm seeing, I think I see where the ceiling's coming down. And all of a sudden, right next to us, guy turns his light on. Kind of jump and look. There's a guy just sitting there. There's a little ledge on the side of the thing that he's sitting on. Out of the darkness, he just turns on he's got a headlamp turned on, looking right at us, and like, oh shit, you know? He didn't even say anything. Like, it was so weird. I'm like, who does that? Who's just sitting here in the dark?
Was his name Tommy
And like,
Knocker?
is he trying to freak us out? And we pass him, and he turns his light back off. Disappears back into the dark, right?
Was it Greg?
Now I look ahead, and there's no more two white lights. And the tunnel looks different. Like, it's going up. I don't see
There's no up after that.
Right. And then we see people. So, in like 2 minutes, we're walking, right? And I'm seeing an up. I'm like, this doesn't look right. And there's people coming down. It gets weird. Like, I get tingly when I tell my weird stories. So these people are coming the other way, and I look at one of them, and we're hitting the bottom of a hill going up. And I'm like, this shouldn't be here. This doesn't happen in this cave down this far. So, and I look at one of the people coming down the other way, like they're just kind of on the other side of the cave. It's wide at this point, so we're not super close together or anything. But I look at the woman right there, kind of 10 feet away from me. I'm like, oh, did you guys go all the way to the end? And she says, we just came in. I'm like, there's no in from down here. This is one way in and out. And she's looking at me like I got two heads. She's like, I don't know what to tell you, man. We're just starting. Like, we just came in. I'm like, that can't be right. We should be getting towards the end of this thing. There's no other entrance here. And then I really look at what's in front of me, and this is the boulders we came down to get into the cave. And my buddies are already going up, so I just follow them up, and we're back at the beginning of the cave. And my buddy Skinny's like, I totally thought we found something new. I didn't know where this was going to go. I got so excited. It's like, oh, it's another exit. It's like, you know, he's surprising us with another way or something. And he came out and he's looking, he's like, how the hell did this happen? So we're coming out, and literally at this point, so me, Skinny, and Hands are freaking out. Tron is the skeptic. He's the Scully Muggle. Because he's like, oh, we must have just turned around.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm like, dude, even if we had purposefully turned around, because when we came we looked at the map, and I'm like, so we came through the fork. We went this way instead of this way. That's why we had to crawl. And when we got to the end, I'm like, Skinny, we got to the end. Remember, we looked back and we saw the two forking like this, and I pointed to it on the map. You can probably see this on Google on the Lava River tube.
Yeah, if you look back, there's no way to go the wrong way.
Right, and we went the right way toward the end.
Yeah, because they do.
And we
merge.
were 20. And we were 20
So only
minutes.
one. Yeah.
And we definitely went at least a few more minutes down that tunnel before we stopped again. And then, like, 5 minutes later, we're back at the beginning when we had hiked 20 plus minutes into the cave. Even if we had turned around at the first time we stopped after that split, we would have gotten back to that beginning way too fast. So we're out of the cave freaking out a little bit, right? Because there were people behind us that we passed that we didn't see again, and people ahead of us that we didn't see again. Like, we started lining all this stuff up, and like, okay, this is making less sense. Like, we were trying to make sense of it, and the more we tried to make sense of it, the less sense it was making. And as we're doing this, there was a woman and her kid who were in there that we had passed not long before we suddenly were in the wrong place. They come they're coming back up out of the cave as well, like just a few, couple minutes behind us. And she comes out with the same look in her face, like, wait, how did we get here again? And we talking to her, we're like, did you turn around at all? And she said, not that I know of. I thought we never got to the end. And they were like right behind us.
Wow.
And then some people we had passed longer before come out of the cave, and we're like, these guys would be early too. And we're like, did you guys turn around? And they're like, oh yeah, we hit a point and turned around. We didn't go to the end. And then they look at us and they're like, wait, how did you get out here already? You didn't pass us again.
Wow. This is one
and at this point,
tube.
So it's me and my friends. That's 4 people. The mom and her kid, that's 2 more. And then these other 2 people come out. We now have 8 people standing outside the mouth of this cave wondering how the hell that just happened. And best I can do is, we found a portal in the cave. So we have the 2 white lights we were following, leading up to the
orb,
wrong place. All of a sudden,
following the fairy ring,
we got the guy that turned his light on and off in the darkness, like totally kind of inexplicable there.
The trickster who made this all happen,
and no one remembers. Even the skeptic amongst us who just insisted we turned around. I'm like, where did we turn around, dude? He's like, I don't know. Like, he couldn't justify he just didn't want to think about the woo. You know what I mean?
Well, I think,
but that's the story.
The fact that you looked back, there's no way, having been in the lava tubes at least 2 or 3 times, not 50.
I've been
I understand.
Paid to bring
you were
people
tour
into this
guy. You were a
place.
tour guy.
Yeah,
you were the tour guy. But 2 or 3 times, there's no way with the one split. This is basically the Bat Cave straight back to
in.
This mile where it ends, straight back out. There's one weird split, but if you looked back, there's no way to confuse going and coming.
Right.
There's no way to do that.
There's no way.
There's no way to do that. It's funneling you in a direction. You look back, and that's what I thought. You just double backed.
Right.
Like the Scully Muggle.
And I've never had I've been in there so many times. I've never had anything even close to weird happen to me.
So Tron's the Scully Muggle?
Tron's the Scully Muggle.
That's good, because I hated that movie.
I don't know how we're friends. I lost my train.
You lost your Tron.
What was I saying?
You said Tron was a terrible movie. And I agreed with you.
But nothing, I've never experienced anything strange in there. No one I know has I've never heard any stories of anything weird happening in the lava tube. I mean, it's a cool place. It's kind of creepy. Like, people are like, oh yeah, it was so weird in there. But I've never heard anyone with any kind of woo about the lava tube. And then all of a sudden this happens, and just the elements, the 2 white lights we were following, the dude sitting in the dark that turned his light on just as we were passing and turned it off when we were by him, seemingly right when we were suddenly in the wrong place. And to the fact that the people who were closest behind us seemed to suffer the same effect. And the people who were behind them, who purposefully turned around, never saw us pass them again.
I would love to know, and again, it's a retrospect thing, if all of them got sidetracked into that little scramble that you have to do, the narrow cave, which I've done once by accident, and a couple times I've been down there. And it's not a big deal. It's very short.
I literally told them all to go left at the fork as we passed them.
Yeah.
And then I didn't, which is a weird part.
I wonder if they didn't either.
Yeah.
I wonder if the same little guy with the light.
And somehow the other tunnel was missing, and then there's some kind of weird loop, like they flipped the tube on us somehow.
It's like the train, when you do the red or the green, you go to a different switch track. That guy was just switching he's the Tommy knocker switching the tracks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's actually a great metaphor, Maz. The Tommy knocker switching the tracks. He actually, like, U-turned us.
Yeah.
Flashed his light at us.
They were doing important work at the end of that tunnel.
God, so, yeah, if they spun... Oh, that's weird. Because if they actually spun the tunnel so that when you came out from the fork, it was actually facing the tunnel was facing the wrong way.
Yeah.
Which is why you didn't see the fork to begin with, because it doesn't line up like that anymore.
Yeah.
And then it like shortcuts you back right back to the beginning.
I think the left side, the right side was the portal. And I think everybody who had that experience went through the right side and ended up...
It spins you around. And puts you right back to start. Do not pass go.
Perhaps.
Do not collect $200.
But again, the cool part of the story is another, I guess, a side note is if you look at our picture, the picture of the lava tube is actually you and Culver at the...
That is Captain Culver in the lava tube. It's his shadow. I'm holding the light, and it's his shadow, and he took the picture.
So that's the Monster Lord Tour logo. It happened in those tubes. You've done this 50 times. You are the tour guide, essentially.
Yeah, I literally have people pay me to bring them in.
So this isn't like, I went in, like if it was me doing it, it would have been a different story. I went in 2 or 3 times. You have toured this cave, this straight down, straight back, not complicated cave.
So, and I've
even
never had
Jeremy
a problem.
could do this kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Even I can do it. But literally every other time, 50 plus times I've been in there before this, straight to the back, straight back out.
Yeah.
Never missed the fork like I've gone the short way a couple times, but on purpose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it doesn't matter. It's only what, a couple hundred feet.
But literally it was like, because I made a very distinct point of showing Skinny, who was the first one up behind me, see how it forks behind us.
Right.
Behind us, and as the other guys came
you're
out,
showing them.
I'm like, see the fork, and they're like, yes, and then we turned back up the one way and kept going toward the end.
You can't make this. I've been there. You can't make this mistake.
Right. Can't make that mistake.
You cannot make this mistake.
Like you know which way is which in this tunnel. You know left and right, forward, backward.
And a group of people standing outside the cave comparing notes as to what the hell just happened.
And the fact we never passed any. Like, we didn't pass those guys again. The mom and the kid who got in front of them never passed them again. You all
said that. You all acknowledged that at the end of
Yeah, because even the people who purposely turned around and came out and saw us all there, they were freaked out because they were like, how the hell did you guys get back in front of us? Because that doesn't even make sense. Yeah. So it's because we got back so fast, too, because they turned around. I don't think they even passed the fork.
Yeah.
I think they got to the fork and turned around, purposefully turned around and went back out. And like, there's just no way with how far we would have been ahead of them that we could have turned around. Even if we had accidentally turned around, we would have seen these guys again. You know what I mean? Or if they had turned around before we did, they would have made it out first.
Right.
Like none of it made sense.
But the other people kind of also did this. Yeah, we meant to do that. But then they went, wait, what?
Right. They were like, we purposefully turned around, but we don't understand how you beat us out.
I gotcha.
Because we should have been.
Right.
If we had gotten out before them, we totally would have passed them again.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it.
Wow.
Yeah. So for all
this
8
is a
people
one of those time glitches.
It was totally. It felt like a time loop. I felt like I lost time.
Yeah.
I really did. Like when we were back and like this lady, and I'm having this conversation with this lady, and I'm arguing with her about how this can't possibly be the entrance because we should be nowhere near the exit, which is also the entrance, and there's no other way into this cave.
Yeah. And
she's looking at me like I have 2 heads, and my buddy Tron is kind of right in front of me.
Terrible movie.
And he looks at her and he goes, and this is our tour guide. And he just starts laughing and climbing back up the rocks. That's right before we got outside, and I made everybody realize how weird what just happened was. Because they weren't that familiar with the cave. But even, like, Skinny was the first one up. He was ahead, and he hit the end, and he kept going, and he was all excited. Oh, the other end, or whatever. And he came up, and he's like, wait, how the hell are we back at the beginning? It's like, it was his first time in the cave.
And he even thought it was strange.
And he even had that reaction when he got back up out of there, like, that doesn't make sense.
How long do you think it cut off the normal turnaround to the wall, the terminating wall and back, which is about a mile underground?
It would probably half of it, because what would have been the second low part, because we went through the low part at the fork, that I was seeing coming up. That I think that's right about, or maybe just a little more than halfway down the tunnel, and then you got to go down to the end and turn around.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like half of it. Probably. And here's But here's a wild part. Actually, you just reminded me of something I thought of later on with this. So that day turned into like the most perfect tour day ever, and we did more things than I even thought possible, because in the end we did the lava tube, which they were still really impressed. They saw enough of it to be really impressed, you know. We did the lava tube, then we went over to Sunset Crater and we did a whole bunch of lava flow stuff, and then we went down to the pueblos and did
Wapaki
and Wakoki and Citadel Pueblos, and then we went up and got some Navajo tacos at the Cameron Trading Post and made it to the Grand Canyon for sunset. We were on the south rim of the Grand Canyon for sunset after all that. And those guys drove up to Phoenix, or from Phoenix to Flagstaff first that morning. Like they woke up in Phoenix, drove to Flagstaff. I started with them at like 10:30 in the morning. And in like 9 hours we did all that.
Awesome.
And hit that. And everything was just like, the timing of everything was so perfect for the rest of the day. And later on, I thought about how I claimed to have a superpower of perfect timing.
Yeah.
And I'm almost wondering if, like, my subconscious or my waveform or whatever it is.
We had to cut this short. Yeah.
Because I don't know how to control the power.
Yeah.
We were in the cave, and it was like, you know, you could have the perfect day if you were exiting the cave in 5 minutes. So it just boop.
But you also changed that
Put us
for
back
other
at the beginning.
unsuspecting people.
Yeah, it was
changed
like
their day. That was their whole day, dude. And
there was definitely an area effect, because that mom and her kid, like that mom was just as freaked out and like just as convinced that something weird happened as we were, and they were the ones right behind us, kind of thing.
No, that's a and the guy sitting in the corner, just all of a sudden the light comes on,
and I watched him because as that's really weird behavior, like very bad etiquette.
Yeah.
To pop out at people out of the darkness in the lava tube.
Yeah.
Because somebody could like freak out, fall down, hurt themselves. Like, you don't do that.
Yeah.
You make yourself known.
Yeah.
He literally, like, we were right next to him and he turned his light on.
He made himself known.
I was like, what the fuck, you know? So I kept my eye on him. And once we got by him, like, I was turning around, you know, more than 120 degrees to look at him now because we were past him. And he turned his light back off.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, we're back at the beginning.
There you go.
Yeah, Tommy Knocker there. There you go, Moss. Yeah.
Yeah. Only other thing I can think of is, you know how long, because the In-N-Out got all mixed up, you know how long Flagstaff waited for an In-N-Out burger? Is there a correlation? I don't know. It's just a thought. It's
we
just
made
a
up
theory.
some of that time.
Just an ajo guano.
Yeah, there you go. It is kind of ajo guano-y. But I just wanted to get it onto the pod here before.
No, the fact that you have
forgot the details.
Other folks that, you know,
this was
you've
last
done this
weekend.
50 times or more, and other people were sucked into this very strange little event. Yeah. So, and having been in there, I can tell you just my perception is you can't get turned around the way you described. And no one else
really
felt that you couldn't either. Yeah. And a lot of people go into that because there's no way to get lost.
That's what I tell
people.
It's
like the easy one.
It's a good one.
You don't have to be, if you're afraid of spelunking or claustrophobia, even if you go up that other side, it's not that claustrophobic-y. It's just a little scramble.
Right.
You know?
If you do it the right way, there's only one spot where you actually have to like duck down.
Yeah.
And it's not belly crawling or anything.
No, it's just you have to squirm a little bit.
It's like a squat.
Yeah.
That's the word. And most of the time the ceiling is like 10, 20, 30 feet high.
Yeah.
You know, it's wide tunnel, tall ceiling. That's why it's so cool. That's why it's such a popular spot. It's easy to do.
Yes.
You can't get lost.
Right. But you found that also the other pieces, you found the secret lava tubes, and this is not that.
No.
And how close is the tubes you found, the secret tubes, to where everybody goes as tourists?
As the raven flies, probably, oh man, I've never really calculated that. I'm going to say about 15-ish miles.
In what direction? From the tube?
North, maybe northwesty.
Mm-hmm.
Northwest.
Gotcha. Like the Hitchcock film.
It's off the same road. You drive farther up the same road.
Is there a plane trying to attack you?
Go down the right side trail.
I remember that scene. Okay.
Oh, go down the right side trail. See what I did there?
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what we did. I think it was a good side trail. So
good. I'm glad you enjoyed the story. I like sharing before it leaves my mind, because I might have forgotten some of the better details of that. But yeah, if you guys got any stories you want to share, you can always email us at monsterloretour@gmail.com. I'd be happy to share some listener stories or have you on for an interview or whatever works best for everyone involved. But yeah, that's it for this side trail. This is going to end the compilation, which comes out next week. It's going to be episode 90.
Wow.
So any big words for finishing off 90 episodes here at Moz?
I'm shooting for the bicentennial.
Ooh, you want 200?
No, I just
it's good to start shooting for 200 before you hit 100, because then you constantly have something to shoot for.
So you're right, tricentennial.
Ooh, 300.
There you go.
All right.
I'm going to hold you to it. No, I'm not, but...
But yeah, we're going to keep on rolling best we can. Thanks for everybody out there for sticking around. If you do want to get these side trails immediately following the episodes, patreon.com/monsterloretour, just $1 a month. But yeah, we're going to get out of here. So until next time, everybody, stay groovy. Monster Lore Tour Podcast.
I can do my syphilis and leprosy songs whenever you want.